Hey guys, it's Ohm, and I'm going to be opening 40 packs in Hearthstone today. This is post-wipe where I've got all my gold, a bunch of which I've used on Arena so far, but I do want to open up some packs just so I could start building stuff for play mode. That kind of fits my style. So we're going to do 40 right now, and you can actually tell it exactly how many you want. It says quantity cannot exceed 50, but we're going to do the 40. And let's go ahead and buy these. There we go. 4,000 gold is gone. We've got 40 packs. And here's pack number 1. So first pack, we've got 2 rares. Got Holy Fire for the Priest, deal 5 damage, restore 5 health. But very high mana cost for that one. Eagle Horn Bow in gold. That's pretty sweet. Whenever a secret is revealed, gain +1 durability. 3 damage, 2 durability at start. Slam for the Warrior, which does 2 damage to a minion if it survives, draw a card. Scarlet Crusader for all classes, 3/1 with Divine Shield and Cone of Cold. For Mage, awesome spell. Freeze a minion and the minions next to it deal 1 damage to them. Of course, that damage can be upped by spell power. Alright. And just 1 rare here. Sunwalker, pretty good taunt. It's got Divine Shield. Obviously, this can be popped easily by small creatures, or even a Mage Fireball. But still pretty nice. Scarlet Crusader. Gold Lightning Bolt for Shaman. Pretty nice. I like that animation with the arcs and whatnot. Taunt, Shield Bearer 0/4. Kind of a shitty taunt, but it's cheap. And another Divine Shield. What the hell is up with these Scarlet Crusaders? Alright. 1 rare. This 1 rare, alright. Coalite Seer, Murloc, give all other Murlocs +2 health. Really good buff card if you're going for a Murloc deck. Betrayal, when an enemy deals its, an enemy minion deals its damage to the minions next to it. That can be nice. It's obviously situational though. Unbound Elemental for Shaman, when you play a card with Overload, gain +1/+1. Scavenging Hyena. For the Hunter, whenever a friendly beast dies, gain +2/+1. That's really nice. And then Worgen Infiltrator, it's a 1 mana cost stealth, which is a 2/1. Alright. Let's see. Really bad draw so far, just rares. Doomguard for the Warlock, we got Charge, Battlecry, discard 2 random cards. I really hate cards that make you discard. I really hate those. But then again, it is a 5/7 for 5. Wind Fury Harpy for all classes, with Wind Fury, of course, and it's a 4/5, but very expensive. Another Shield Bearer taunt. Conceal, give your minions stealth until your next turn, and another Conceal. Lots of dupes. Okay. All just a rare. We got Druid. Choose 1, gain 2 mana crystals, or draw 3 cards. This is a really good card for card draw. Ventrico Merc, your minions cost 3 more. Obviously, very expensive card to play if you've got other minions that you want to play because they cost so much more. Circle of Healing for Priest, restore 4 minions to all minions, even the enemy minions. Spiteful Smith, all classes. Enrage your weapon as +2 attack, which is obviously only good if you have a weapon. And Jungle Panther, this is another stealth. It's a 3 mana cost 4/2. Really good card. Alright, 1 epic. Bane of Doom for Warlock, deal 2 damage to a character if that kills it, summon a demon. I really like this card. Imp Master for all classes, at the start of your turn, deal 1 damage to this minion and summon a 1/1 imp. If you're a priest, you could keep this thing alive forever. Or if you've got Voodoo Doctors, you can combine it with it pretty well. Shaman, Dust Devil, Wind Fury, Overload 2. It's a 3/1, very cheap. And it's got Wind Fury, but if there's other creatures on the board with Taunter, you know, for example, you're not going to be really doing a whole lot with it unless that Taunt has 0 attack. Torn Warrior for all classes, Taunt and Enrage +3, so if he gets hurt, he gets 3 more attack. And then Ice Barrier for Mage. I'm not a big fan of this. It's a secret that as soon as your hero's attacked, gain 8 armor. Alright. 1 rare. Okay, so it's a Soul Priest. This is a decent card. Your cards and powers that restore health now deal damage instead. Earthen Ring Farseer. All classes restore 3 health for a 3/3/3. Not too bad. Paladin Redemption. When one of your minions dies, return it to life with 1 health. That can be comboed with a Taunt pretty well, or some other cards that have, you know, really good lasting effects on the battlefield. Dark Iron Dwarf. Battle Cry is give a minion +2 attack. Pretty good for a 4/4/4. And then Shadow Step for Rogue. Return a friendly minion to your hand. It costs 2 less. Can be used to refresh or to get a Battle Cry again. Man, these draws are so bad so far. Alright, rare SI7 Agent for the Rogue. This is a good card. It's a combo. If you do a combo with it, deals 2 damage to whatever you want. And it's a 3/3/3. Mark of Nature for the Druid. Give a minion +4 attack or +4 health and taunt. Really nice buff. Stormforge Axe for the Shaman. This is Overload 1, but it's 2/3. Battle Rage for Warrior. Draw a card for each damaged character. Pretty nice for card draw. And that also now counts for other characters as well. If they're damaged or if you're damaged, you also get extra card draws for that. And then a Defias Ringleader for Rogue. Combo summon a 2/1 Defias Bandit. But that's only if it's comboed. Now this does count though if you're on turn 1 and you use a coin and then you play this, you get both. So it's actually a pretty nice combo there. Alright, we've got 1 rare. Just 1 rare. Alright, Doomguard we talked about. Blessing of Wisdom for the Paladin. Choose a minion whenever it attacks, draw a card. This can be used on friendly or enemy units. Power of the Wild. Choose 1, give your minions +1/+1 or summon a 3/2 Panther. Really nice card for Druid. Stranglehorn Tiger for all classes, 5/5/5 Stealth, which is, I like this card a lot. And then Dark Iron Dwarf we already talked about. Alright, 1 rare, 2 rares, and an epic. Got an Earth Elemental, 5 mana cost, 7 attack, and 8 health. It's got Taunt, but it's Overload 3, so you're going to be hurting the next turn. This card has honestly cost me a game before. When a Shaman played it early, having a 7/8 on the board, if you don't have any really good removal, you're screwed. This thing is so hard to take down. Alright, Argent Commander, all classes. This is a good charge card. It's a 6/4/3, but it's got a Divine Shield on it, and it charges out with 4 damage. Noble Sacrifice for Paladin. When an enemy attacks, summon a 2/1 Defender as a new target. This I have seen do some really good things for Paladins in the past. Siphon Soul, that's our rare. It's destroy minion, restore 3 health to your hero, but it's high mana cost. But again, this is a kill card. If you bust this thing out, for example on this 7/8, it's gone and you also got healed. And then Ancient Brewmaster for all classes. Battle Cry, return a friendly minion from the battlefield to your hand. For only 4 mana. Alright, we've got 1 rare. And that's it. Light Ward in all classes. Whenever a character is healed, gain +2 attack. Can be comboed well with a priest. But it has to be healed. Dread Corsair, Taunt. Costs 1 less per attack your weapon. Obviously you want to use that with a class that uses weapons. Ironbeak Owl, Battlecry Silence. This is a great silence, really cheap. It's 2 mana cost and it's a 2/1. Mark of Nature we talked about, and Ancient Brewmaster we talked about. And 1 rare. And that's it. Demolisher, this is a really fun card. At the start of your turn, deal 2 damage to a random enemy. That includes the enemy hero. But it's a 3/1/4, and if you got this behind a taunt, it can do some really great things for you. Dread Corsair costs 1 less, so we talked about him. Dark Iron Dwarf we talked about. Redemption we talked about. Wisp, this is kind of a shitty card. It's a 0/1/1, and yeah, I don't ever see anybody play that thing. All right. Oh, there we go. There's our first legendary. So we got an epic and a legendary. We got Mountain Giant. That's our epic. It costs 1 less for each other card in your hand. Alright, and we got Tyrion Fordring for the Paladin. This is the Paladin's legendary. He's got Divine Shield, Taunt, and a Death Rattle where he gives you a 5/3 Ashbringer. This is assuming that he doesn't get silenced. If he gets silenced, then GG to that Death Rattle, because there's currently no way to undo a silence. Then we got Priestess of the Loon. This is a battle cry. Restore 4 health to your hero, but it's a 6/5/4. Kind of expensive. Wrath for the Druid. Choose one, deal 3 damage to a minion, or 1 damage and draw a card. And then Unleash the Hounds for Hunter. Give your beast +1 attack and charge. And we have 1 rare. And that's it. Okay, we got the Crazy Alchemist. It's a 2/2/2. Swap the attack and health of a minion. Inner Rage. Deal 1 damage to a minion and give it +2 attack for the warrior. Power Overwhelming for Warlock. Give a friendly minion +4/+4 until the end of the turn, then it dies horribly. This can be really, really nice if you just need to get something out of the way really quick. And, for example, you got a cheap card. It's a 1/1 or something. You could combo it, yeah, do some good things. And then Spellbreaker for all classes. This is another Silence, but it's a 4/4/3. And then Dread Corsair we talked about. Okay. We got 1 rare. Alright, Misdirection. When a character attacks your hero, instead he attacks another random character. I've never really seen people play this, but it sounds like it could do a friendly fire type situation. Ice Lance for a mage. Freeze a character if it was already frozen, deal 4 damage instead. Flesh-Eating Ghoul. Whenever a minion dies, either friendly or enemy, gain +1 attack. That's a good card. Slam. Deal 2 damage to a minion. If it survives, draw a card. That's for the warrior. It's a card draw and a damage dealer, but that's if it's going to survive. Wrathy Weaponsmith, another warrior card. This is a 4/3/3, and it gives you a 2/2 weapon. Oh, nice. We got another legendary. Golden legendary! Holy shit! That's badass! This is like the rarest possibility. We got Illidan Stormrage for all classes. Whenever you play a card, summon a 2/1 Flame of Azeroth. And it's 6 mana cost, 7/5. Now here's the downside. He's easy to kill. He's only got 7 health. Or, 5 health. But if you can keep him alive, you can get a ton of creatures out of him. Summoning Portal for Warlock. Your minions cost 2 less, but not less than 1. This is a really, really nice card for Warlock, by the way. Dread Corsair costs... well, we talked about him. We got Mana Worm for the Mage. Whenever you cast a spell, gain +1 attack. That's a permanent buff, too. And a Stormforged Axe for Shaman we talked about. I'm so happy about that Golden Legendary. That is badass. Alright, we got 1 rare. We got Lightwell for the Priest. It's a 2 mana cost, 0/5. But at the start of your turn, restore 3 health to a damage-friendly character. That includes your hero. Youthful Brewmaster. Return a friendly minion from the battlefield to your hand. It's a 2/3/2. So you can use that to get another creature off the board. Druid. This is a really nice card. Druid of the Claw. Choose 1 charge or +2 health and taunt. You could turn this into a 4/6 taunt, or you can have it just charge out and beat something up. Eviscerate for the Rogue. This is a combo card. You can either do 2 damage or 4 damage if you combo. That's really cheap. And then Jungle Panther, it's a 3/4/2 stealth. We talked about that one. Okay, we got 1 rare, 2 rares. Abomination, this is an interesting taunt. It's a 5/4/4. Taunt Death Rattle, deal 2 damage to all characters. That's including your own. But this has been a game changer in several games I've had. Oh wait, we skipped the other rare. Alright, Ancient Brewmaster we talked about. Crazy Alchemist we talked about. Inner Rage we talked about. Ice Lance we talked about. Alright, 1 rare. We got Siphon Soul for the Warlock. Destroy minion, restore 3 health to your hero. Oh, we talked about that one. Unbound Elemental we talked about. Silverhand Knight we have not talked about. This is a 5/4/4, but when he comes out, he also summons a 2/2 Squire. So you essentially get 6 damage, 6 health out there on the board. Fen Creeper, this is a really nice taunt. It's a 5 mana cost, but it's a 3/6. Lots of health. And Summoning Portal we talked about. Alright, we got 1 epic. Ancient of War for the Druid. Choose one. Well, first off, it's a 7 mana cost, 5/5, but you can choose one, either taunt and +5 health, or +5 attack, turning this into a 10/5. So it's either going to be a 5/10 with taunt, or a 10/5 that's just can be attacked at any time. If you've got taunt on the board, though, you could potentially go for some big plays with it. All right, Wrath we talked about. Amani Berserker. This is 2/2/3, but if he gets enraged, which means he takes damage and still is alive, he's got +3 attack, turning him into a 5, whatever. Lightning Bolt, deal 3 damage, overload 1. Really good new card for the Shaman. And Inner Rage we talked about. Alright, we got 1 rare. Argent Commander we talked about. Conceal we talked about. Temple Enforcer, I don't remember if we talked about. 6/6/6, give a friendly minion +3 health. Pretty good card overall, but again, it's expensive. Brewmaster we talked about. And Silvermoon Guardians is a 4/3/3, but it has Divine Shield on it. Not bad. Okay, we've got 1 epic, and that's it. Alright, Hungry Crab, it's a beast. Destroy a Murloc and gain +2/+2. So if you have a Murloc on the board when you play this thing, you could have this turn into a 3/4. Torn Warrior, 3/2/3. If he gets enraged, he gets +3 attack. Freezing Trap, this is a kind of a fun card. It's a 2 mana cost trap, secret. When an enemy minion attacks, return it to its owner, and it costs 2 more.
Golden common.
Alright, golden, let's see, Shadow Step, return, okay, we talked about that already, except this one's golden, so it's got this cool animation. And then Fairy Dragon, this is a fun card, cannot be targeted by spells or hero powers, it's a 2/3/2, all classes, dragon. Okay, we have 1 rare. Alright, Stampeding Kodo, this is for all classes, destroy a random enemy minion with 2 or less attack. And it's a 5/3/5. If there's something with 2 or less attack out there, it's gonna die. If there's multiple things, it's gonna be random. But it has to be 2 or less attack. I've used this before against some of the really OP Shaman wards, and it's really saved my ass. Alright, Redemption we talked about. Stormforge Axe we talked about. Shadow Step, same. Okay, Mirror Entity for the Mage. It's a 3 mana cost secret. When your opponent plays a minion, summon a copy of it. This can be huge. I actually just recently lost a game because of that card. They got a copy of a card I played. Mine had the, the summoning sickness essentially, and his did not on his next turn. Alright, Starfall for the Druid, that's our rare card. Choose one, deal 5 damage to a minion, or 2 damage to all enemy minions. Let's see. Inner Fire, change a minion's attack to be equal to its health for the priest. And Demon Fire, deal 2 damage to a minion. If it's a friendly demon, give it +2/+2 instead. Nice buff for Warlock. Explosive Trap, this is fantastic. When your hero is attacked, deal 2 damage to all enemies. Only the enemies. It's really, really like a badass card. And then Deadly Shot for the Hunter. It's a 3 mana cost. Destroy a random enemy minion, but it's going to get destroyed. And if there's only one thing out there, you know it's going to die. Really fun card for the Hunter. I have 1 rare, 2 rares. Alright, Golden Rare. Kirin Tor Mage, Battlecry. The next secret you play this turn costs 0. Can be comboed well with the secret, obviously. Blizzard for the Mage, I love this card. It's a deal 2 damage to all friendly minions and freeze them. From 5 mana cost. Acolyte of Pain, whenever this minion takes damage, draw a card. Is for all classes, it's a 3/1/3. Sense Demons, for Warlock, put 2 random demons from your deck into your hand. And Stormforge Axe we talked about. Alright, we have 1 rare. It's a Felguard for Warlock. It's a 3/3/5, and it's a taunt, but the battle cry is it destroys one of your mana crystals, which really sucks. Slam, deal 2 damage to... Okay, we talked about that. Raging Worgen, it's a 3/3/3. If it gets enraged, it gets Wind Fury and +1 attack. Alright, a Wrathy Weaponsmith 433, equip a 2/2 weapon, and Ice Lance we talked about. I think we talked about the Weaponsmith too, but I just wanted to go over it again just in case I was forgetting things. I've done several of these card opening videos so far. This is the first one though, post-wipe. Alright, so we got a rare. This is one of those. This is exactly what I was talking about before for the Shaman with that Kodo or whatever it's called. This is a 3/03, but at the end of your turn, draw a card. That's a sure thing. And it can be really scary. Alright, we got the Blood Knight. It's a 3/3/3. Battle Cry, all minions lose Divine Shield. Gain +3/+3 for each shield lost. Ice Lance we talked about. Noble Sacrifice we talked about. And Ice Lance. Okay, we have 1 rare. 2 rares. Alright, Equality for the Paladin. This is kind of a scary card. And it also kind of hurts you a little bit. But it changes the health of all minions to 1. If you've got board control and you're facing some really scary stuff that's out there that's stronger than you, but you got weaker stuff, you can do Equality and just beat the shit out of everything, because everything has 1 health. Harvest Golem for all classes. This is a 3/2/3. When it dies, its Death Rattle gives it a 2/1 damaged golem. Misdirection for the Hunter, we talked about that. Blessing of Wisdom, we talked about. And Cult Master is a 4/4/2. Whenever one of your other minions dies, draw a card. Alright, we have 1 rare, 2 rares, alright. Angry Chicken, it's a 1/1/1. It's enraged as +5 attack. I rarely see people use this card. Okay, Explosive Shot again, that's a badass card. Scarlet Crusader we talked about. Jungle Panther we talked about. Urshock we have not talked about. This is a 1 mana cost silence, and it does 1 damage. It's not bad at all. It's actually one of the better cards for the Shaman. Alright, 1 rare. 2 rares, alright. Cold Light Oracle, it's a 3/2/3. Each player draws 2 cards though. And then Feral Spirits for the Shaman. This is a good card. It summons 2/3 Spirit Wolves with Taunt, but it has a overload penalty of 2. Young Dragonhawk, it's a 1/1/1 with Wind Fury. Torn Warrior we talked about, and Mark of Nature we talked about. Alright, 1 rare. Got Keeper of the Grove, choose 1, deal 2 damage, or silence a minion, and it's a 4/2/4. This is a really nice card for Druid. Shield Bearer, we talked about. Alright, Soul of the Forest, give your minions Death Rattle, summon a 2/2 Treant. For the Druid, it's 4 mana cost though, but it's a good way to, you know, if you got to throw a bunch of units out, it's a good way to replace them with 2/2s. Temple Enforcer we talked about. Naturalize. This one is kind of, I don't know, I'm always iffy about because it gives your opponent card draw. So it's a 1 mana cost Destroy, but it gives your opponent 2 cards. Alright, sorry about the quick break there I had. I had something pop up in my timeline on my video editor. Alright, so here we go. We're going to continue on here. We got 1 rare. Alright, Mass Dispel. Silence all enemy minions. Draw a card for Priest. Jungle Panther. Talked about that. Silence for Priest is a 0 mana cost silence. Weaponsmith we talked about. Druid Claw we talked about. Alright, we got 1 rare out of this. Holy Fire we talked about. Direwolf Alpha is a 2/2/2 beast. It's for all classes. Adjacent minions have a +1 attack, so it's only the minions next to it. Loot Hoarder, it's a 2/2/1. Death Rattle, draw a card. Leper Gnome is a 1/2/1. Death Rattle is deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. And then Cold Blood, give a minion +2 attack, or combo +4 attack instead. Pretty decent buff. We have 1 rare. Secret Keeper, whenever Secret is played, gain +1/+1. That's a permanent buff. Slam, we talked about. Argent Protector, 2/2/2, give a friendly minion Divine Shield. This is really nice for the Paladin. Acolyte of Pain, 3/1/3, we talked about that one, I think. Flame Imp, this is a fun card for the Warlock. It's a 1/3/2, but it deals 2 damage to your hero. I'm hoping for one more legendary. Alright, we got one rare. Counterspell for mage. It's a secret. When your opponent casts a spell, counter it. Silver Moon Guardian, we talked about him. Dragonhawk we talked about. Shadow Step we talked about. And Silence as well. Alright, there's an epic, a rare. Blood Knight we already got. Holy Wrath for Paladin, draw a card and deal its damage, or deal damage equal to its cost. Betrayal, this is for the Rogue, we talked about that. Cold Blood we talked about, Youthful Brewmaster we talked about, alright. Keep my fingers crossed for one more legendary. Alright, just one rare. Pint-sized Summoner, 2/2/2, each, or the first minion you play each turn costs one less. But that only applies to the first one you play. Youthful Brewmaster we talked about. Abusive Sergeant is a 1/2/1, give a friendly minion +2 attack this turn, it's only for that turn. Slam we talked about, and Mogashan Warden is a 4/1/7 taunt. Not really worth it in my book. Alright, we've got one epic, two epics, and a rare. Alright, Shadow Form for the Priest. Your hero power becomes deal 2 damage if already in Shadow Form, 3 damage. You could play this twice. Actually, in one game, I stole a third, and I tried to play it to see if it did anything else. You cannot have more than 2 of the Shadow Forms in effect. Alright, for the Rogue, Patient Assassin. This is actually a really fun card. It's a 2/1/1. So you're like, oh, what's the point of that? Well, it's kind of like a Cobra. The Cobra destroys a minion no matter what. No matter what. Like, as long as it can get an attack in, even if it's a, 10/10 or something, it's dead. Same thing with this Patient Assassin. You play this guy, he sits there, he's stealth unless the enemy has AoE. He can't do anything about it, and whatever this thing attacks, it's gonna die. Alright, and then the rare, we got the Frothing Berserker, 3/2/4. Whenever a minion takes damage, gain +1 attack. And I've actually seen this thing get super strong before. And I won a game because of it once too, because a priest, or I was playing as a priest, and a warrior had this, and he had a ton of small cards on the field. Well, I went and I did like Holy, or no, it wasn't Holy Nova. I think it was Holy Nova, and I caused all this damage. And then I was able to steal this thing the next turn before I died, and it was so strong. And I was able to heal it up, keep it alive, it was crazy. Monty Berserker we talked about, and Wind Fury Harpy we talked about, I think. That's a card that always gets taken out early. We got one rare. Stampede Dakota we talked about, Abusive Sergeant we talked about, Deadly Shot, nice, we got a second one. Jumpforge Axe we talked about, and Rampage for the warrior, give a damaged minion +3/+3. Pretty good buff, and this is our last card, or pack. One rare, and that's it. Alright. Explosive Shot, alright, another one. You can only have 2 of each card, by the way, for play mode, so anything extra you have to melt down. And looks like we've talked about all of these. So, this was 40 packs. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. And looks like I do have plenty of new stuff. I mean, if you look here, I mean, I just got rid of 1, but we had 9 new cards for the Druid, 7 for Hunter, 4 for Mage, 6 for Paladin, 8 for Priest, 8 for Rogue, 8 for Shaman, 7 for Warlock, 5 for the Warrior, and 47 new neutral cards. Awesome stuff. Well, hope you guys enjoyed the show. I'll probably be doing at least another one of these, and hope that you guys will join me for that. Also, be sure to check out my other Hearthstone videos, where I play either through Arena or with friends. And also try to catch me on my stream. I do stream Hearthstone quite often, although I've taken a little bit of a break from it as I've been trying to regrind up since the wipe. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and I will see all of you guys next time.